an amazing time. We've talked about, some important topic from the blueprint of wealth, blueprint of wealth. We've talked about a mindset that attracts wealth, and I mean, it's been um, an amazing session of knowledge being passed across. And today,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, we'll be talking about another interesting topic. Another interesting topic, which is basically uh, God's sustainability, God's principle for wealth sustainability. Personally, I find it really interesting, right? Because I mean, the sustainability is when it's easy for you to, I wouldn't say it's easy. It's a good thing to have wealth, to be wealthy, to be able to generate wealth. But it is extremely important to be able to sustain that very wealth, because a sustained wealth, it's like building legacy, right? It's not just important for you, but for the world at large, who you're trying to impact, your family at large. Because if you had nothing on ground for even your family, your parents to come and meet, they would meet nothing. So it's an interesting, and I'm glad we have you here once again, Pastor Obehi, which I would always describe as, a man of God who is also a business person who can dissect, the word of God to the simplest form possible. So we'll try to mange
Thank you,
our
sir. Thank you.
discussion around God and what is happening in the world. So welcome, sir, today again. Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for
Thank you,
joining
everybody.
us. Yeah. All
Okay.
right.
Sustaining wealth.
Hmm.
The first thing I want to say, concerning this, to ensure that you always have money, because when we talk about sustaining wealth, we're talking about always having money, to always be wealthy. One way to ensure that you're always wealthy is that you must first keep making money.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the first thing for me. You cannot afford to stop making money. It's not possible.
Hmm.
You cannot stop making money. So you must always have an inflow.
Hmm.
To remain financially relevant, you must always ensure that your inflow does not stop. If you stop the
Yeah.
inflow, your wealth will dwindle. You will move from being wealthy to being regular to being poor.
To being poor.
Because if you don't
Basically.
keep adding to it, if you don't keep adding to what you already have, all you do is withdrawal. There's no injection
Hmm.
into your pool of savings. There is no injection into your pool of investments. Last week we mentioned having different portfolios, different assets in your portfolios. If you don't keep improving that portfolio, you don't keep increasing or ensuring that there is a constant inflow of assets or things that would give you financial stability, you cannot sustain anything.
Hmm.
So the first thing for me is that you must constantly and continually, seriously, aggressively make money.
Hmm. So
Yes,
yeah,
you have to make money.
I agree with you. There should be a constant form of generating revenue for
Yeah,
yourself. If you want to sustain weight, of course, right? That is why if you looked at what we've talked about this past 2 weeks,
yeah,
it's just all around, the mindset, the blueprint. If that is properly applied, which I believe you people can go back to and watch. I mean, you will know that what Pastor Obehe is saying right now is as important as sustainability itself. Yeah, constant stream of income is something that you cannot do without
It's important.
when you want to sustain wealth. The money has to keep going. The river has to keep flowing. It has to keep flowing.
Okay, so
Right.
yeah,
You
so
know.
so we cannot go into other things, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
like we always have a discussion, right? So this is just me and you discussing.
Mm.
So I'll put it like this: no matter how much you make in this life, no matter what you have been able before, you would most likely squander it. The wealth you do not plan is the wealth you cannot sustain.
Of course.
To sustain wealth, you must be a planner. By planning, I mean you must budget.
Mm.
The human wealth is insatiable. The more you have, the more money you make, the more you realize that you no longer like basic things, you don't like luxury things.
Mm.
All of a sudden, you don't want to live in a three-bed flat, you want to live in a duplex.
Mm.
All of a sudden, you don't want to share company with anybody, you want to live in a set-alone apartment.
Mm.
All of a sudden, you don't want to do vacation in any state in Nigeria, you want to do vacation abroad. The more you have, the more you realize how materialistic you can be.
Can be. Very true.
Yes, to help curtail that was planned.
Mm-hmm.
Set a budget. How many percentage of your income is for expense? How many percentage of your income is for investment?
Mm.
How many percentage of your income for savings? Right?
Mm.
Savings. We call it precautionary motive for holding money. Unforeseen expense. If unforeseen expense shouldn't come from your savings or your investment pockets.
Mm-hmm.
It should come from money you have set aside for such an event, knowing that one day something would happen. For instance, you're driving and then a reckless driver decides to take away your side mirror. It's an unforeseen expense. And he has driven away. You can't chase him. You're not a Formula One car racer.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have money set aside for that, you're likely going to either touch what you have set aside for investment or what you have kept for savings. So you must have money kept aside for trouble. It's called trouble money. Just put it somewhere. So you must budget. Budget for your food, budget for your clothing, budget for everything must fit within your budget. And when you're doing budgeting, don't do figures, do percentages. Use percentages. You have your income. Your total income is 100%. Set percentages that you know you can meet up to, right? For everything you're doing. That way, you always have. Now, see, if you notice, I said set aside money for investment, set aside money for savings. The money you set for investment allows you to always take the opportunity of investment when they come. So if you do not budget hoping that an investment will come, you cannot take hold of them when those advantages come.
Very true.
Right? So
Very true.
you
So
must budget. Yes,
yes,
indeed.
it's extremely important to plan, like you stated. Every outcome, the outcome, how you want your life to be, basically, is a result of your planning. Nothing is done by choice, by chance.
Yeah.
Everything has
My
to be
chance, yeah.
deliberate. You know, um, if I usually say this. There's a way life would plan for you if you don't plan for life. You can't escape it. It's either you are planning for it or it is planning for you. Like you have stated, human needs is unlimited. When you have the resources, even the things you don't need start coming in, and you want to, run expenses on them. There is People usually say that you can't predict the future. I completely disagree with that over and over again. You can't really completely tell the outcome of the future, but you can plan towards it,
I
right? You can
agree.
plan towards it. You know, let me reference to the Bible, okay? Right? If you look at Proverbs 21, verse 5, right? I was
Yeah.
just going to read this. It says, the plan of the diligent leads to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. When money comes to you, you don't have a plan for it. It is easy, it is very easy for you to go out, right? And when you spend in haste, you fall back to poverty. I've seen a lot of people, real life scenario, move from a billion to zero to begging for alms, to begging for alms. There is a need for planning, and your planning it has to be, you have to have a strong sustainability plan. This money that I'm expecting, do I even have, how do I intend to spend it? Like you stated, there has to be, you know, certain percentage that you set aside for certain things. There is a percentage for investment. There is a percentage, I think you're out. I can't see you. There's a percentage, for your regular
I'm here.
day-to-day activities. Thing. Yes, your screen is a blank, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So the question you should be asking yourself because a lot of young people tend to miss it because we are speaking to the young minds now. You know, there is this eagerness to always want to do everything at the time. You know, you have to have, you need to have, you must have a sustainability plan. You that is
Yeah.
go, you cannot do without it because you have to plan towards the family that is coming in. You that have a family, you have to plan. When you are no more, what is going to happen?
Yeah.
Right? What is going to happen? And I keep always references to some of these known great minds, successful businesses. If you look at Jeff Bezos, for instance, right? You see, there are certain things that happen in the life of these people. You'll be wondering how they were able to, overcome it. I see it from a place of planning. As of 1999, Jeff Bezos lost in shares about $200 million, right? And one of his interviews, I think that interview is very popular. When you look at it, when he was being asked, you are known for an unprofitable, your company Amazon is known for as an unprofitable company. He was laughing. He was laughing out loud in confidence, right? Because he has a long-term plan for himself, and he could already expect what is to come at that particular period of time. If you don't keep, if you don't plan to have wealth in the long term, you will not have it. It has to be deliberate.
Yeah.
It has to be deliberate.
Okay. So now that you mentioned someone like Bezos, right? Um, Most of these guys, one of the things I've come to realize about them is that um, they do beyond the 10-year plan. Some of them have a 100 years plan.
Yeah, of course.
They do generational planning,
Hmm.
right? So their businesses are set up in such a way where it's supposed to continue after they are gone.
Mm.
So when they plan for their life, they plan for their G2, their G3, and G4. There are companies that have succeeded and existed for over 100 years, over 50
Of
years,
course.
over 20 years.
Mm.
They did not get where they are now if they had not planned. So the reason why they are still existing is because they have been very intentional about surviving and thriving.
Mm.
Two things. You must be intentional about surviving. You must be intentional about thriving. When things are not going well, you must have plans in place to go through that period. And then in your fat season, you must have plans in place to ensure that if the slim season cycle comes again, you are able to sustain, right? So also in planning for sustaining wealth, you must also start to think about succession.
Of course.
Okay,
Very true.
yes. You must deliberately start to think about succession. If I'm no longer here, what will happen to my wealth? We've heard stories of families in Nigeria that were once very wealthy and influential, and when the patriarch of the family goes,
The business goes
they can no
with
longer continue
it.
to sustain. Yes, it goes with it,
Yes.
right? Because there was no sustaining plan, there was no succession planning, right? So the wealth
Very
cannot
true.
stay. The wealth you do not plan for, you cannot keep. You cannot keep.
You cannot keep. You
You
cannot
cannot
keep.
keep.
And
You must plan for it.
it's
Yes, yes. You must plan for it. In order for you to keep it.
making
Okay.
money,
So
generating
can I move on
wealth.
to the next
Yeah.
one?
Yes. So yeah. So
Okay.
let's just move to the next one. So I wanted to say the truth of the matter still remains that it's very difficult, but making money is very difficult. Spending it is easy.
True.
It's easy. When you have a
True.
plan, it's easier for you to manage everything. You will know what to
Yeah.
spend, you will know what to do at a particular period of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sustainability, when it comes to wealth sustainability, you cannot do it without proper planning. You have to have
Yeah.
a sustainable plan,
Yeah.
right? I want us to know that
Yes.
down. Yes, so that now brings us to you can't do wealth sustainability without talking about this thing, which is investment, right?
Yes.
You cannot sustain your
Yes.
wealth without talking about investment. You know, uh, the wealth that is not invested wisely eventually diminish. That is just the
In
painful
fact,
truth.
Eddie, I would even like to say that wealth that is not invested is spent.
Hmm. Because
Before
I'm
we even get to investing wisely, right? Because investing wisely is another cadre. The first cadre is to even have the desire to invest. So we must all agree tonight that if you do not invest, you will consume. It's one of two things. It's either you are investing money or you are eating the money, right? Or the wealth, uh, the property you're not, whatever you do not invest, you consume it. That's why you see, it's so important that investment is key. You must invest like your life depends on that investment, right?
your
Scripture
fallback
says, "Put
strategy.
your bread upon many waters." Yes,
Mm.
put your bread upon many waters. After many days, it will come back to you. That's investing and collecting dividend of investment. So not just one investment. You must any investment you vet that is genuine, vet that it is genuine. You must do your due diligence. That's where your investing wisely that come into play. But first of all, you must have a desire to want to invest. And then once the desire is there, then you can do exactly what MD is saying. You must invest wisely. Yes, MD.
Yes, you can. You must invest. If you look at the story of, do you know why I decided to have a mange of the Bible to what we'll be discussing about things? I feel Bible is a business. You can read it and know business,
Of
right?
course.
If you look at the story of the servant and the masters, the three servants and the masters, you know,
Yeah.
that were gifted. The one that saved came back to nothing. Those that invested came back, they multiply what was given to them, right? When people typically say save for the rainy day, for me, what that means is not saving typically, because money saved is you're just giving to the bank, likely, right? In that term, in that context, what is being talked about is investment, right?
Yeah.
It's investment. You can't do you cannot grow wealth, you cannot sustain wealth for a long time when you don't strategically invest, right? And because this is when it gets interesting, because we are, a real estate company that has, a real estate company that is basically into, properties. There is no wealthy man who has been able to sustain wealth for a long time that you made mention of today that does not invest in real estate.
Yeah.
Right. There is none. There is none. If you look at the likes of Dangote, it has portfolio in real estate. The Jeff Bezos, all of them, the Warren Buffett, the Otedolas, any wealthy person you know today invested in real estate. You can do without it because real estate is land, real estate is house, real estate is something that can, that can sustain inflation in any part of the world, right? Real estate is one of the means to sustain wealth. It is a piece of property, is a piece of land that you buy and you can come back to, and that property will appreciate over a period of time. It is a piece of property that you buy, it gives you cash flow.
Yeah.
Right? When you do it right, when you invest in real estate, amongst other things, there's a likely chance for you to sustain wealth. The chance is very high because when you die, your children are going to fall back to it and it will continue to give them cash flow. Right.
It's one investment you can transfer to the 100th generation.
Mm-hmm.
To your 100.
It does not end. It's always there. You do not transfer it at the rate you got it.
Never.
It keeps appreciating.
You don't.
It keeps appreciating. It's important.
Wisely, I would always, recommend real estate investment for anybody, anytime. If I look at your portfolio and I don't see real estate there, you are not in the right track. That is what I would say to you. But it's the truth when you look at it, right? You want to tell me about stock, you want to tell me about gold, you want to tell me about bonds. Real estate is something that you must fall back to on the long run. So it's better you even start it now, at the early stage where you are thinking of wealth sustainability.
Yeah.
It goes for everyone. And when you come into it at this early stage, there's a likely chance for you to get it right. When you do it with Reka, you can get it right. Of course, you can always get it right.
So that's free publicity. When you do it with Reka, you can get it right. You can take that to the bank. You can take it to the bank.
Because part of the things we hold on to is value creation. Value comes first for you must invest in real estate, whether you agree with me now or later, or you must come back to investing in real estate because it has been proven, it has been seen to work for the best of our best when it comes to investment.
Okay, so let me say this because some people keep thinking that maybe we're just mentioning properties for the sake of mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a simple mental calculation. I think it's the network. My video just keeps jumping.
Yeah, Nigeria.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in Nigeria. Okay, so look at it this way. The population keeps increasing. Where will they stay?
They will need shelter.
They will need shelter.
Mm-hmm.
They will need shelter. So owning a property, it's a good investment because there's always somebody to take it up if you need to put it on rent, right? If you don't want to pay it on rent, it can help you stop paying rent to somebody. That's helping you save your income,
Very
right?
true.
So either way you want to do real estate, it's a must for everybody. It's a must. It's a must. As much as you have the ability to get into that, get that into your portfolio, you should get it in. Get it in as earlier as you can. Get it in. If you hear of genuine property that they are selling at very low rates right now, get into it. Drop at it. Save it for the future. It is one aspect of investment I know that inflation does not overtake. You put your money in the bank, right? Outside the
Right.
bank charges, the SMS charges, all the plenty different English they used to speak now to do charges. Inflation will catch up to it. The 1 million naira you saved last year, 2024, cannot do the same thing it could do last year in 2025 now because its purchasing power has reduced. The level
Right.
of devaluation and inflation as against our currency is alarming. But real estate value grows.
Yeah, we have questions already. We're
Okay,
going to
so I'm
attend to.
seeing a question.
Yes. How do you know a good investment? Okay.
All right, good.
Basically, how do you know a good investment? Uh, First of all, you need to ask yourself why are you investing, right? There are different forms of investment. There are investment that are short term. There are investment that are long term, right?
Yeah,
There. How do you know a good investment? Let's just narrow it down to real estate, right? When you are able, no, there are entry points for every investment. Mr. Is it legit coin or leg coin? All right.
yeah,
Large coin, yeah, large coin. There are entry points for every investment. This is a technical question. I will charge you for consultation, but let me just, help you disclose as much as I can disclose at this very point in time. We have people trying to join us. I don't know. Maybe we'll slot in 2%, right? But let me just respond to the question. For you to
okay,
invest, right? When it comes to good investment, you must first understand the industry that you want to invest with, right? There are track record for
yeah,
everything. How best have they performed over a period of time? That is the certain things you would want to look at. When you look at those things, right, and you are sure
yeah,
that this is a good investment, you should decide that for yourself. But there are experts in this aspect, right? But
yeah,
first of all, you need to look at the track record. For real estate, I've seen real estate generate 5S, 500%, 300%, 200% within a very short period of time. There are track record for that, right? As a tool, properties in Lekki, Abraham Adesan as is were selling for, let's say, 10 million, right? 15 million. But as at now, you cannot get a good property for anything less than 70 million. 2-3 years. There's a track record. There are people who have bought and are reselling, right? You can hold on to that. Then you know that this is a good investment for me. I don't know if that answers your question, Lashcon, but you can send a message to our DM. We'll throw more
okay.
light on that.
Let me
But
just
if you want to add
MD, let me
something,
just add. Let me add a little. Okay.
all
Okay.
right.
So you narrowed it down to real estate. So I'll just add a few things. One, I would say, does it solve a problem? Because one way you make money is that you provide solutions to a problem.
Mm.
Okay. So if you're looking at investing in real estate, where's the location of the property? Is it a place where people are moving towards, or it's a place that's already saturated? Because you're looking at the investment. Okay. If that environment will solve housing problem, it's a good place to actually put it. For example, everybody kept hearing about the new seaport, everybody kept hearing about the airport, but a lot of people did not take advantage of those things. 2, 3 years ago, properties there were still selling at a very fair rate. Now they have got really high. Okay, and they will still keep climbing. If you live in Lagos, an average of 3 to 4 people relocate to Lagos on a daily basis. So we're always going to have population expansion around some certain axis of Lagos, right? So if you want to invest in real estate, look at those environments and invest there.
Yeah.
Another thing you must
Thanks for
check
adding that.
is that
Right.
does the number make sense? Because investment is a numbers game, right? Does it make sense? If you do your calculation, what is the expected time for return, your return on investment, and at what percentage? If you compare that vis-a-vis with doing something else, does it make sense? Because you are making a decision. So you must ask yourself, if I put this money in this right now, and this is what is going to come out at XYZ time, right? Does it make sense for me? Okay, you must check that. Another thing you must check is that you must vet the people behind the investment, so you don't fall into a Ponzi scheme or into fraudulent agents. That's why I'm here telling you, okay, I can recommend Raycast, I know him personally, and all of that. Now, I've also seen people that have dealt with very shady real estate providers. So you must be careful. Now, if you take it out of real estate, any other form of investment you want to do, you must do your due diligence. The people behind this investment platform, are they reliable? A lot of us will always recommend government bonds, government this, government that, because it doesn't matter who is in charge of the government, those things do not fail, right? So you must do that check. Another question you must ask yourself is that, is this scalable? The investment I'm about to do, is it a scalable venture? Real estate is scalable. You buy land, you can either build a mini estate, you can build 3-bedroom flats, 4 units, sell one, put the other 3 on rent, right? You can do a joint venture with your land, right? And then you can, so can you convert?
So you are giving them free consultation now. You are giving them free
Oh my
consultation.
God,
We are
that is
giving
laughing.
a lot already. Say, look, let me tell you something, Lashcoin. We have a project ongoing, Resida Apartment, right? 2 units left though. See, we started selling for 95 million when we launched that project. Now, in few months, it is now 120 million. And when we are done with it, it's going to be about 170, 160. You can already see the progression within a very short period of time. Does that make sense to you? Is that a good investment for you? Right? So, I mean, there are opportunities in real estate. Right? So let's see if we have any other question. Right. So investment, anytime, any day, you cannot do without it. It is something that you need to be deliberate about.
But I hope we'll be able to answer his question.
Yes, he said we have. He responded on the comment. He responded on the comment. Right. So
great.
I think we'll add one person after we talk about the last thing. There's a lot of things to talk about. We cannot say everything in the live session.
There's something I want us to handle, right? There's one part I really like, and I want us to talk about it just briefly, right? Which is that you must build strong network. If you want to sustain wealth, the people around you, you must be intentional about it.
Very true.
Life is beyond what you know. It is more about who you know. Don't let anybody kid you. Billionaires do business with billionaires. Right? Your circle is very important. It is very important because, see, the kind of people you hang around with will either encourage you to continue to grow or encourage you to stop growing and start dying. Either way, you get encouraged. Right? So you must intentionally look for people that can inspire you to invest, inspire you to save, inspire you to grow on a daily. There's some friends you have. Once they know you have money, they will tell you all the nicest drinks, all the latest outfits, all the latest cars. All they do is tell you on what to buy, what to consume. Bro, those are not the kind of people you need to have alone in your life. You can have a mix of them, no problem. But ensure you have the right set of people that encourage you to keep growing and keep planning and keep maintaining what you have gotten. If not, the other ones will drag you down to where they are. So it's
Right.
important. You must
Yes.
watch your circle.
Yes. Talking about network. Network is another form of wealth, you know.
Yeah,
It's another form of wealth. There are certain information that you will never find in the in the public. You
yeah,
find them within a specific set of people. That is why the likes of the Dangote, the likes of the likes of the Warren Buffett, the likes of the Jeff Bezos know a lot of things you do not know, right? And when you get acquainted with those that have those information, right, you it is very possible for you to have access to those information,
yeah,
right? So acquainting yourself with great minds, people that think towards the direction of wealth sustainability, you will know a lot of things, a lot of ways for you to sustain your wealth with ease, right? So,
yeah,
like you said, it is extremely important. You need to ask yourself, who are my friends?
yeah.
Who are the people I know? Who are the people I talk to? Right? What do I hear? What have they done? What direction are they going to? Do they plan? Do they invest? Do they have the kind of cycle you want? Let me tell you something a little bit about planning. When we, on our Q for last year, plan for Redica,
Yeah.
right? I'm saying this for the first time in public. What do we intend to do? We launched a legacy project, a vision 2030, right? And what do we intend to do? We intend to build 1,000 housing units and generate a 1 trillion naira revenue for our investors and partners. It's a long-term goal. And I'm telling you now that we have series of projects in our pipeline that we are going to launch to get to that goal. Right? Planning.
Yeah.
It is important for you to, you know, be in the midst of like minds. Reseda, for instance, are presently careful with the kind of people we are adopting to the project. Because one is a situation whereby we build a rich community of people, right? Where people can easily network with like mind, right? Opportunities are shared,
Yeah.
you know. So putting yourself, finding yourself, deliberately placing yourself in a good cycle of people that thinks towards the direction of, wealth creation, wealth sustainability is the best thing you could ever do for yourself
Agree.
as a growing person, as a growing
Yeah.
person, you know. So we basically say quite a number of things. You can drop your questions, but do you think we should add somebody to the call?
Oh yeah, yeah, we can. The more the
All
merrier. We
right.
can.
All right. Uh, okay. So let's ask. it should be questions, so we can just, add a thing or two. We're going to add Mr. Doku. Let me see if he's still here. Okay. Whoa. I don't know. You might need to resend request. I can't add you.
Who, me?
No, I'm trying to. There are people on the request, And I can see Mr. Victor also is trying to join the live.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
The law.
Yeah.
Barrister of the Most High God.
So I hope you're getting enough value from this live session. If you're getting enough value, just say yes, Okay, one person is unable to join, I hope you're getting enough value. These are things that you pay millions for in business school, and you hear the same thing, but we can't say it all. We can't say it all. So drop your questions so that we could, pick a question or two and move close up for the day.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Thanks, main events. Thank you for your response.
Right. Okay, we can see yes. All right. So we're going to round up this live session. Right. And thank you all for joining. Right.
So
Thank
no
you
more
all for
questions?
joining. Yeah. I think we basically attended to all the questions. So
Okay.
for a recap, what's sustainability? God's principle. Remember the story of the servant, three servant and the master, as an example for you. Those who did not invest, you could see the outcome. Wicked is what the master called the one that didn't invest. You wicked servant. So if you spend your money without investing it, you are a wicked person. We thank you, Pastor Barrister Victor. You're a wicked person. Just know that, because if you
Yes,
don't see,
you're wicked to yourself. You're wicked to your family. You're wicked to your future generation. Yeah, to add another scripture, Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children, to his children's children, up to fourth generation. So G1, G2, G3, G4. Only you should live up to G4, right?
Yes.
Imagine the amount of wealth that 4 generations will have to come and take over. That's what you're supposed to do.
Very true.
That's a tall order.
Very true. Right. So think this way, and I promise you, it's going to be extremely beneficial to you. To you, right? We'll be having another section. I think it's the last session next week.
Yes, it is.
Wealth with purpose.
Ooh.
Is on assignment. Your money is not for you alone. You need to know that, right? And God will give you wealth for a purpose. Right? We'll be talking about that and how some of the prominent people we know have, attributed purpose to their wealth, to their money, and how it has come back to them multiple fold. Right? How it has come back to them multiple fold. Thank you all for joining. And next session, we're going to try to talk a little bit less, and we'll open, up questions, you can join, and you can join us and ask your questions real time, and we'll attend to it. So come up, put your questions together, and come with your questions. There are people who want to say it, to contribute it, to, right? Same time, 8 p.m. Right, you can watch our previous live session. Just go to the page and scroll down. You see all the things we talked about. Right, you could DM personally if you have some questions, and we'll try as much as possible to talk about it. Right, thank you all for joining tonight. And from our viewers who are not in Nigeria, thank you all for joining. We hope to see you next week. Thank you, Pastor Obehi, for the word.
Thank you, MD.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
All right, bye.